AdCast. I'm here with my lovely co-host, Cris, Vatalaro.
Hello, and we are also joined this evening for our Advertising Insight by Vinny Tafuro. Welcome.
Thanks for coming on, Vinny. Vinny is
Thanks
with
for having
Tafuro Communications, his own marketing company right here in Tampa, Florida. And he's joined us tonight to talk with us about these new PC ads out there, these new Microsoft ads.
The wars.
And the campaign that is heating up. The war is heating up between them and Mac now.
Yes.
Now, as many of you may have seen by now, there's a series of, actually two different series of ads right now running for Microsoft that are fairly new, and there's been a lot of buzz about them in the industry. Vinny, I know you've been blogging a bit about it. Can you tell us kind of what you've been saying?
Well, I was surprised to see the ads at first, too. I had written months ago when Crispin signed up, Crispin, Porter, and Bogusky in Miami, and I guess out of their Boulder office, too, signed up Microsoft and wondered what was going to come out of that, because it's an interesting match as far as agency and company. And then all of a sudden was watching one of the Thursday night football games, and this weird Seinfeld Bill Gates ad comes on. And
At a shoe store.
Yeah, at a shoe store. And I thought, me personally, I liked it. And what was funny is I talked to people that were on the technical side that liked it, and then other people that are like, what the heck is this?
Yeah.
And
now, one of the comments I've heard is that, people were they're like, well, where are you coming from, Microsoft? Don't you know that Seinfeld is so 1990s? Like, what was interesting to me about it is that Seinfeld is it's polarizing. You know, back when his show was on, it was so, well, it's a show about nothing, and that's why I love it. Or it's a show about nothing. What that, why?
I hated it. Yeah, I know that.
So it's really interesting that they would choose that model, really, to do advertising.
And from that aspect, Microsoft is polarizing.
True.
You hate it or you love it.
Yeah.
Either way, you use it.
Yeah.
In a lot of instances. So that was an interesting side to it. I hadn't thought of it that way.
Yeah. Now, Cris, I know you've been looking into this a little bit, and
Yes,
of
my
course we know
pages
that
and pages of research.
Sure.
Now, one thing I wanted to bring up was the fact that they're trying to humanize Bill Gates. And I think that's kind of cool because, I mean, we read tabloids, and then the difference to Newsweek, very professional and then very not so professional, something you find in the grocery store.
Yeah.
But Bill Gates is one of those guys that can be your next door neighbor. He just happens to be a billionaire.
Yeah.
But he looks like an average guy. He wears glasses, as one of the ads has said.
Yeah.
And then you get Jerry Seinfeld, who's so well known.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite quotes from one of their ads was actually made by the Chinese food delivery guy. And he said, when Bill Gates opens the door, and then there's Jerry Seinfeld, and all of a sudden he goes, wow, two of the most accomplished guys in their respective fields. That's very valid.
Yeah.
It's valid. It's not exactly something people would usually say in everyday conversation.
Of course not. But I think
of course, that's why it's funny.
Me being a Mac user, I think it was very smart of them to choose those two people because they're so well known.
Yeah.
But then Bill Gates is, this guy with all this money. You really bring him down to your level, who, the medium high-class people who may not make $1 million a year or triple gazillion dollars a year, whatever Bill Gates makes. But I think it's cool. It's the guy next door.
Well, the fact is, at the end of the day, in the ad industry, all the people that I've talked to are just hating it. They're like, how could you spend a minute and a half on that ineffective advertising? It's not saying anything about the product, everything like that. But, love it or hate it, it's something
People
that is
are
spreading a buzz.
Exactly.
And people were
Buzz.
talking about it.
You figure we've done, AdCast's been around a while. This is the first time we've picked up a commercial only 2 weeks after it's happened.
True.
Yeah.
And a specific commercial at that.
We're in advertising. We're not the target of the commercial. The target of the commercial is the millions of people that use Microsoft products that don't really like them but do like them or aren't sure whether they like them.
Now, obviously that was, at this point, Microsoft saying phase 1. There's a phase 2, and/or they realized the other campaign was horrible and they replaced it. That's going on right now.
I think it's a natural progression. In reading what I've read about it, that this was the teaser ads that they paid, Seinfeld quite a bit of money to do what he did. The new ads they're taking, I saw a comparison to, for years and years, Avis advertised themselves as number 2, they try harder. Yeah. And Hertz finally turned around after a while and said, well, we're number 1 and we're going to tell you why.
Yeah.
And Microsoft is the 800-pound gorilla in this market. It's not the typical Crispin Porter client. It's not Burger King trying to get market share. It's not Miller Lite, which the ads were great, but I didn't switch from Bud Light because of the square table man.
Well, I mean, beer is sacred.
Yeah, you like what you like. You're loyal to what you like.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this is a totally different animal for Crispin Porter in the fact that it's the larger client. It's the larger person in the market now trying to answer what the smaller market share client is or company is doing.
Which is an interesting point. I mean, here we have now, if people haven't seen the ads, check them out. It's the I'm a PC ads. And, of course, this calls back to what Mac has been putting out for a couple of years now, saying, I'm a Mac and I'm a PC. And, of course, the guy that's a PC isn't the most appealing fellow in the world. He's a bit befuddled.
Unless you've seen the South Park version of that, which is quite humorous.
I haven't.
Oh, it's for check that one out.
Maybe Microsoft should have just picked that up.
Yeah, well, they're trying to break the mold of being this. I'm very, spreadsheets, documents.
I'm a dork.
Yeah, they're trying to break that stereotype, which I think is a good thing for them.
I think
because they do have good things about them.
Sure. Well, I mean, in the reality is, like, smug Mac users would love to think that, and myself included, would love to think that that's the PC guy. They all look like that.
Yeah.
PCs are everybody. PCs are, hospitals and law firms and
I'm a PC.
Yeah.
And I even made a picture book on a PC.
Wow.
Well,
So you can do all
That's
sorts
amazing.
of things.
I was telling Carl earlier that at work I'm a PC, but at home I'm a Mac. So in a way,
Tell me about what happened when you tried to watch these ads on your PC, Chris.
I was doing some research on my PC in regards to the topic today, and I was trying to watch the ads themselves. Well, my PC froze. So I watched them at home, worked just fine on my Mac. So it's just kind of, it's kind of interesting while I was doing some
That's
market
an
research.
interesting thing here, too, is that, a lot of what that Microsoft commercial is speaking to, the new one, is the advertising. It's speaking directly to Mac's advertising, not the product, not what, is actually happening with their machines. And there's a little bit of buzz around the blog world right now because apparently one of the photos that was posted online that was part of the campaign was made on a Mac. Somebody got into
the white screen area when they introduced the guy, and I forget the actor's name in the Mac ads that plays the part of PC.
Yeah.
The character that plays I'm a PC in the very beginning is an engineer with
Jonathan
Microsoft.
Hodgman, I think, or something.
That's
Yep,
who he's
John Hodgman,
portraying in the Microsoft app. But yeah, I guess in whatever coding was in the file that was put on for the screenshot, yeah, that scene of that was made on a Mac.
And furthermore, people are saying these people are not APC. I know that Seinfeld did a commercial with Apple. I know that these artists and people that you're calling out have been quoted saying they love their Macs and their iPods and their iPhones. So it's interesting, but I mean, that's advertising. We're not.
Yeah. Remember, Microsoft does own part of Apple.
Didn't know that.
No,
I did not
most
know
Mac
that.
users don't.
Yeah.
But so it's a friendly
He's judging
competition,
us
I
as
think, in the
Mac
end.
users. Did you see that?
Well, I'm the PC in this argument.
Most of you
Oh,
guys
discussion,
don't.
right?
You guys, it's creative.
Well,
today.
Vinny, you and your smug PC users can.
I had to crunch a lot of numbers to get that fact.
Yeah, I bet you did. Or pull a lot out of your rear end.
Well, Vinny, I wanted to thank you this evening for joining us for our advertising insight. That was great.
Absolutely.
For
Thanks for
bringing
coming
your
on, and
thoughts.
respect your expert opinion. So thanks for bringing it to us.
I appreciate it.
Thanks. We'd also like to thank our sponsors, Tampa Digital Studios and TBT.
Thanks a lot to all of you at home. It's been a pleasure with you over the years, and I'm gonna stick around. Actually, I've decided I'm gonna keep doing shows.
I'm going to keep them.
So, in the meantime, make good choices.